I yield back.
Thank you, sir. Before we close, I want to turn to Ranking Member Crow for brief closing remarks.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you to the members for this hearing. You know, this was an overwhelmingly bipartisan, productive hearing. I mean, the questions from the members were serious and robust, and clearly they took their charge to learn the issues and to dive into the investigation very seriously. And I also want to thank you, Acting Director Rowe. You know, I've been in Congress now almost 6 years, and I've been in plenty of situations where there are directors and department heads and acting directors and department heads who are in crisis situations, right? Or contingency situations where there's a crisis within their agency or something that has gone wrong. I mean, this is an oversight hearing, so more often than not, there's something that has gone wrong. There's people that deal with that in a variety of different ways. But in my experience, and I don't want to speak for the chairman, and he'll have a chance to speak about this, but we've talked a lot about this, and you've been very, very candid. You've been very open. You have accepted responsibility for the things that we feel like the service has had to accept responsibility for. You obviously were not the director on July 13th. The deputy director of agencies has different responsibilities. Usually personnel management is what deputy directors do. Then you stepped into the role and have, I think, done a very good job of remediating, mitigating, and providing a path and vision forward. So I thank you for that and your continued service. And I also want to make really clear, you know, when we're talking about the Secret Service, like any of these organizations, they are broad, diverse organizations of thousands of people. And there's no doubt that there were security failures on July 13th and things didn't go right. But I also want to be very careful not to paint everybody with a broad brush. There are people that did not do their jobs, and there needs to be accountability for that. But there's also no doubt in my mind that there were many people who did do their jobs, that showed up with the right mentality, the seriousness, the commitment, who would have jumped up and took that bullet. In fact, after the shooting, did go on the stage and do what they needed to do and were willing to risk their lives. And I want to thank them. I think it's really important that we draw that distinction here, because I know a lot of those officers and agents are listening here today. And for those folks that show up every day with that commitment to excellence, who are willing to put their lives on the line, that we see them too, right? And we appreciate their service and what they do, because we don't want to put your agency in a position where this is a negative detractor from morale. It makes it harder for you to right the ship. So that distinction is very important in that regard. I also hope America saw that we did come together in a bipartisan way and fulfill our mandate of looking at these 2 attempted assassination attempts. We took it seriously. You couldn't watch this hearing today and actually see who was a Democrat and Republican. If you took our name placards down here, Americans wouldn't be able to tell, who was. This was issue focused. This was focused on our mandate, and I think that's really telling. And I would encourage folks to watch this if they haven't watched the entirety of the hearing and look at how we conducted our business here. The other thing I want to do is just thank the staff. This was a heavy lift. 5 months. The number of transcribed interviews, document requests was really substantial. At a time, as the chairman said, many of us were out on the campaign trail and accessible and spread throughout the country. Honestly, it's the staff that did the heavy lifting here, both the Republican and the Democratic staff. They have taken time away from their families. They have taken time away from their jobs. They have left law practices and other lucrative jobs to come and do important work for the American people. And I'm grateful for the work of the staff to put us in a position to submit this report and to tell the story that America deserves to have told. So with that, I want to thank you again, Acting Director Rowe, for your testimony and your commitment to addressing the issues that have been identified here today. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back.